The desert of Titan 9 was never quiet. The wind howled through broken metal fields, carrying the smell of burnt fuel and cold dust. Ethan Cole had been flying across the wasteland for hours, searching for wreckage he could sell. He was a salvage pilot, one of the last humans brave or foolish enough to wander this dead moon. That night, the sky tore open. A bright light fell from the stars, cutting through the dark clouds like a sword of fire. It crashed into the sand miles away, shaking the ground under Ethan's small ship. His radar screamed with signals all unknown. Not human tech, he muttered, gripping the control sticks. That's something else. He turned his ship toward the crash. His AI assistant, a calm female voice, warned him, "Caution, Captain Cole. Radiation levels are unstable." Yeah. I'll be quick." When he landed near the burning crater, heat waves rolled over the sand like ghosts. Ethan put on his oxygen mask and stepped outside. The wreck was huge, smooth black metal, glowing faint blue at the edges. It looked nothing like human design. It was alive somehow, the surface moving like skin. Then he heard it, a weak voice through the static of his radio, a voice that sounded impossible, human, please. "Don't lift my skirt." Ethan froze. He looked around, his pulse racing. "Who's there?" "Identify yourself." The voice came again, soft and broken. "Please, don't lift my skirt. It hurts." His first thought was that someone was trapped inside, but the words made no sense. He followed the sound, climbing over twisted metal until he saw a shape half buried under the wreck. It was a girl. Her skin was pale silver, glowing softly under the red light of the fire. Her hair was white as frost, falling over her face. She wore a thin suit, torn at the shoulder, and her body shimmered like light trapped in glass. When she saw Ethan, her violet eyes widened in fear. "Stay away," she whispered. Ethan knelt beside her. "You're injured. I can help." "No." She tried to move, but pain forced her to stop. "Don't touch the skirt." He looked down and saw what she meant. Around her waist was a glowing layer of blue light like a shield. It looked delicate, almost beautiful, but it pulsed with strange energy. Underneath it, the metal floor was melted. "What is this thing?" he said, scanning her with his wrist device. The AI responded instantly. "Unknown biological signature. Unknown energy field detected. Probability of alien origin 99.7%. Ethan's heart raced. He had found an alien. A living one. She stared at him, breathing weakly. "Please, don't lift it. It keeps it inside." "What keeps what inside?" he asked, but she didn't answer. Her eyes rolled back and her breathing slowed. Ethan looked around the burning wreckage. No rescue teams. No signals. Only silence and fire. If he left her, she would die here. If he touched her, who knew what would happen? He hesitated only a second. Then he slid his arms under her and lifted her carefully. Her body felt warm, almost human, but his fingers tingled where her skin touched his. The moment he carried her into his ship, the lights flickered. The ship's systems glitched. "Warning," said the AI. "Energy spike detected. Unknown interference." Ethan laid her on the med bed. The glowing layer around her waist was still there, flickering now like a weak heartbeat. He tried to run a medical scan, but the machine refused to work. He leaned closer. "Hang in there, okay? I'll figure this out." The girl opened her eyes slightly. "Human?" she whispered. "Yes," Ethan said softly. "And you're safe now." Her hand trembled as she reached for him. "No, not safe. I broke it." "It's coming." "What's coming?" he asked, but she didn't answer. Outside, lightning flashed across the dark horizon. Ethan looked out the window and saw strange shapes moving in the sky. "Small, black, and fast drones." He looked back at the girl. Her glow dimmed. Her lips moved, barely a whisper. "Don't lift my skirt." Ethan frowned. "Why do you keep saying that?" He touched the glowing field gently. It buzzed under his fingers, almost alive. His scanner beeped a warning, but he ignored it. "Please," she said weakly, her voice shaking. "It's not what you think. If you open it, you'll see everything." Her words sent a chill through him. Before he could ask what she meant, one of the black drones outside fired a red beam that struck the sand near his ship. The ground shook violently. The girl gasped, her whole body lighting up. Ethan grabbed her hand. "Stay with me." Her eyes glowed brighter, and for a moment he saw something. Flashes of stars, battles, screams, and burning worlds. His mind spun as if he were falling through time. Then the light exploded. The entire ship filled with blue fire, and Ethan was thrown backward. When he opened his eyes, everything was silent again. The alien girl lay still on the bed, her skirt now dim and broken. And on Ethan's wrist communicator, strange symbols began to appear, symbols that weren't human. The blue light faded slowly. Smoke filled the air inside the ship. Ethan coughed and pulled himself up from the floor. The panels around him were cracked, and sparks jumped from the wires above his head. His scanner kept flashing red warnings he couldn't understand. He turned to the medbed. The alien girl still lay there, motionless. The strange blue skirt around her waist flickered weakly now, like a dying flame. Her silver skin looked pale, almost white. Ethan stepped closer, afraid she might already be gone. But then he saw her chest rise, slowly, painfully. She was still alive. "Hey, you're okay," he said softly, his voice shaking. "You're gonna be okay." Her eyelids fluttered, revealing those strange violet eyes. They glowed faintly in the dim light. "Human," she whispered, her voice dry and weak. "You touched it." Ethan frowned. "I had to." "You were dying." She winced, her fingers tightening around the edge of the bed. "You shouldn't have." "Now it's inside you," he didn't understand. "What's inside me?" Before she could answer, the ship's AI spoke again, its voice trembling in static. "Warning, foreign energy detected in pilot's biosignature. Source unknown." Ethan froze. He looked at his hands. For a moment he thought he saw faint blue lines under his skin like glowing veins, but when he blinked, they were gone. He shook his head. "No, I'm fine. It's just stress." The girl looked at him sadly. "No, it's begun." He ignored her words and focused on helping her. He cleaned the wound near her ribs where the blue field had cracked. Beneath it he saw metallic tissue, wires fused with flesh. It was like she was half living, half machine. The scanner tried to read her vitals, but the screen only showed static. "System unable to process data," said the AI. "Subject physiology incompatible with human analysis." "Then I'll do it the old way," Ethan muttered. He used a med gel patch from his emergency kit, pressing it over the wound. The gel hissed and glowed faintly. The alien girl gasped and arched her back. "Stop. It burns. I'm trying to help you," he said, holding her shoulders gently. Her voice trembled. "You don't understand. My body is connected. Every touch wakes it." "Wakes what?" She stared at him for a long moment, then looked away. "The core. The weapon inside me." Ethan stepped back, his heart racing. "Weapon? You mean you're armed?" She shook her head weakly. "I was made to be. I escaped before the activation. That's why they hunt me." Ethan's eyes narrowed. "Who hunts you?" "My people," she whispered. "They call me a defect. I didn't want to destroy anyone." He remembered the shapes he saw in the sky earlier, the black drones. They weren't random. They were searching for her. "You said something before," Ethan said quietly. "You said it's inside me now. What did you mean?" She looked up at him with sorrow in her eyes. "When you touched the shield, it bonded with you. Our systems connected. Your body accepted the link. I don't understand." "You will," she said. "You'll start hearing me. Even when I'm not speaking, you'll feel what I feel." He laughed nervously. "That's impossible." But then deep in his mind he heard a voice, soft and scared. "Ethan." He froze. "Did you just—" The girl didn't move her lips, but he still heard her voice inside his head. "I told you. The link has started." He stumbled backward, clutching his head. "Get out of my mind." "I can't," she said out loud this time, tears forming in her strange eyes. "It's not my choice anymore. We're connected now, until one of us dies." Ethan tried to calm his breathing. No, this isn't happening." But he could feel her heartbeat echoing faintly in his chest. When she gasped, his breath shook too. When she shivered, a cold wave ran through his spine. He looked down at her again. "What's your name?" She hesitated before answering. "Lyra." "Okay, Lyra," he said, forcing himself to stay calm. "We'll figure this out. I'll get you to a station, someone who can help." Her expression turned sad. "No one can help. Your kind will kill me before they understand what I am." "Then we'll hide," Ethan said firmly. "I don't leave people behind." For a moment, something soft flickered in her eyes. Hope, maybe even trust. But it was quickly replaced by fear. "It's too late," she whispered. "They already know. The ship's alarm screamed before Ethan could speak. Incoming signatures detected. 6 unidentified crafts approaching. Distance 2 kilometers. Ethan's blood ran cold. Drones again? Lyra nodded. They found us. The lights inside the ship turned red. The engine roared to life as Ethan rushed to the cockpit. Hold on, Lyra, we're getting out of here. Outside, 6 dark ships cut through the storm clouds, their red eyes glowing in the night. Ethan gritted his teeth. Whoever you are, you picked the wrong human to mess with. As he lifted the ship off the ground, Lyra's voice whispered in his mind again. Calm, almost tender. You shouldn't have helped me, Ethan. Now we both carry the forbidden wound. And then, for the first time, he saw through her eyes, a memory of her world shining and cruel, where humans were nothing but shadows burned in light. Ethan's hands shook on the controls as the ship tore through Titan IX's black sky. Behind him, flames chased like angry ghosts. The alien drones followed in perfect silence, 6 small ships moving with deadly grace. Evasive maneuvers active, the AI said, its calm voice cutting through the chaos. Ethan forced a deep breath. Keep shields up. Divert all power to the thrusters. The ship jolted. A beam of red light hit the side, making metal scream. Warning lights flashed everywhere. Lyra cried out from the medbed behind him, her voice echoing not just in the air but inside his head. Pain. Ethan. Too much, he winced, clutching his temple. Lyra, stop! I can hear you. Her voice trembled inside his thoughts. I can't control it. The link is open. He could feel her fear, sharp and cold like a knife in his chest. He could even sense her heartbeat racing faster than human rhythm. The ship dropped suddenly, skimming across the cracked desert below. A mountain range loomed ahead. Ethan turned hard and flew into a canyon, dodging between stone walls as laser fire sliced the air behind him. 2 of the drones followed and exploded against the rocks when he pulled a sharp turn. The others stayed above, circling like vultures. He landed the ship inside a narrow cave, cutting the engines. Everything went dark. The only light came from the faint blue glow of Lyra's body. Silence fell. Only their breathing filled the air. Ethan walked back to her slowly. You okay? She nodded weakly. For now. But they won't stop. They can sense the link between us. Ethan rubbed his face, tired and angry. Why me? Why did it have to link with me? Lyra looked away. Because you touched what was forbidden. The shield wasn't just armor, it was part of my core. My body tried to heal, and your DNA completed the connection. Now, we share one system. Share? He asked. Like, how much? Her violet eyes met his. Everything, he frowned. You mean feelings, thoughts? Memories. She hesitated, then nodded. Yes, even dreams. Ethan sank to the floor, trying to make sense of it. That's insane. I'm just a human scavenger. I can't handle whatever this is. Lyra's voice softened. You're handling it better than most would. Your mind didn't reject the link. He looked at her sharply. What happens if it did? Her tone went quiet. Your brain would melt. That sent a chill through him. He stared at the blue marks faintly glowing under his skin again. What are these lines? They're connection veins, she said. Energy paths. They mean your body is adapting. You're becoming part of me. Ethan stood and turned away. No, I'm not some alien experiment. But deep down he could feel it. A strange warmth pulsed inside him, a rhythm not his own. And when he looked at Lyra again, he didn't just see her. He felt her. A flash hit his mind like lightning. Suddenly, he wasn't in the cave anymore. He was standing on a bright world under twin suns. The air was filled with golden dust. Towers of glass and light rose high above the clouds. He saw soldiers, hundreds of them, marching under a black flag with silver wings. Their armor looked like Lyra's, and above them all, massive ships filled the sky preparing for war. A voice, deep and commanding, echoed through the vision. Cleanse the human plague. Burn the earth. Ethan gasped and fell to his knees, his mind spinning. The vision faded. He was back in the cave, shaking. What was that? He asked, breathing hard. Lyra looked down. My memory. You saw what I saw. My world's army. Preparing for invasion. So it's true, he said quietly. Your people are coming for us. Her voice broke. They already came. Years ago. They destroyed your first colonies. And I helped them. The words hit him like a punch. You what? Tears shimmered in her eyes. I didn't know the truth then. They told us humans were monsters, that you stole our worlds. I believed them. I led attacks on your ships, but then I saw what we really did. Children, families, gone. Ethan's hands clenched into fists. His mind screamed with rage. But then through the link he felt her guilt, her horror, her pain. It was real. He turned away, unable to speak. Lyra's voice came softly in his thoughts.
I tried to stop them.
That's why they want me dead. The link wasn't an accident, Ethan. Maybe it's fate. He looked back at her, his jaw tight. Fate or not, we're stuck with it. And if your people are planning another attack, we're going to stop them. Lyra blinked in surprise. We? Ethan smirked tiredly. You said we share everything now, right? Then I guess we fight together. She looked at him for a long time, then nodded. Then I'll show you everything I know. But be warned, once you see the truth, you'll never be the same. Ethan's voice was steady. I already changed the moment I lifted your shield. Their eyes met, human and alien, bound by a link that defied both science and war. And far above the cave, high in the black sky, 3 more alien ships descended through the clouds, locking onto their signal. The hunt was far from over. The cave was silent, except for the hum of damaged engines cooling down. Ethan sat against the cold wall, staring at his trembling hands. The faint blue glow under his skin was brighter now, pulsing with every heartbeat. It looked alive, alien. Lyra sat a few feet away, weak but alert. Her silver hair glimmered faintly in the darkness, and her violet eyes followed him quietly. She could feel his fear through the link, just as he could sense her pain. They were connected, mind, nerve, and soul. Ethan broke the silence first. So, this thing between us, can it be undone? Lyra didn't answer right away. She traced her fingers across the metal floor, her expression distant. In theory, yes, but the cost is death. His head snapped toward her. Whose death? She looked up, her voice soft. One of us. The link can be broken only if one heart stops beating. Ethan let out a dry laugh, though there was no humor in it. Great, a bond that kills if we separate. Just what I needed. Lyra didn't smile. You don't understand what it means to be linked like this. Our minds aren't just touching, they're merging. Your thoughts could shape mine, and mine could destroy yours. He frowned. Destroy? She nodded slowly. Humans aren't built for shared consciousness. If my memories go too deep into your mind, you could lose yourself. You'll stop being you. Ethan rubbed his temples. Well, that's comforting. She tilted her head slightly. You're trying to hide your fear. He looked at her, surprised. How'd you? I can feel it, she said softly. The faster your heart beats, the louder your mind becomes. Ethan sighed. Then stop listening. I can't, she whispered. Neither can you. For a long time, they stayed quiet. Outside the cave, the night wind howled. Somewhere in the distance, the alien drones scanned the wasteland, their red eyes glowing like dying stars. Ethan stood up and checked his weapon locker. We can't stay here. If they're tracking the link, we need to move. Lyra nodded, struggling to her feet. Her wounds glowed faintly beneath her skin, the metallic lines shimmering. There's a research bunker near the East Ridge, she said. Humans used it long ago. It might still have power. How do you know that? Ethan asked. I saw it through you, she replied. Your memories, when you were flying over this area. He blinked. You've been inside my memories? She lowered her eyes. Only flashes. I didn't mean to, he exhaled slowly. Then you already know more about me than anyone else alive. A faint smile touched her lips. You still think I'm alive? Ethan paused, then said quietly, I'm not sure what you are, but whatever this is, we're surviving it together. They left the cave at dawn. The twin suns of Titan IX rose weakly over the jagged horizon, bathing everything in orange dust. Ethan drove the small Land Rover across the wasteland, with Lyra sitting beside him, wrapped in a torn thermal blanket. As they rode, flashes of images kept slipping into Ethan's mind. Alien cities, bright crystals, endless corridors of metal, Lyra's memories. And sometimes his own thoughts bled into hers, memories of laughter, rain, and Earth's blue sky. It made her quiet. It made him restless. You miss it, she said suddenly, watching the sunrise. Miss what? Your home, she said. The blue world. The sound of waves. Ethan glanced at her. You saw that? She nodded. It's beautiful, he grinned faintly. You should see it in person someday. Her expression darkened. My people will never allow that. To them, your planet is a target, not a home. Ethan tightened his grip on the wheel. Then they'll have to go through me first. They reached the bunker by midday. The old structure was half buried under rock, but the doors still worked. Inside, dust floated in the stale air. Old computer screens flickered weakly when Ethan powered them up. Looks like someone left in a hurry, he muttered. Lyra touched a broken terminal. The lights brightened slightly. I can access their systems, she said. My energy can power their technology. Ethan raised a brow. That's convenient. She looked at him with a sad smile. My body was designed to invade human networks. I was built as a living weapon. He stared at her for a moment. But you're not one anymore. Her voice trembled. You say that. But my creators left something inside me, a signal beacon. As long as it exists, they'll find me. Ethan's face hardened. Then we destroy it, she shook her head. No, if you destroy it, the link dies too. He turned to her slowly. And if the link died, one of us does, she whispered. Ethan leaned on the console, silent. He could feel her fear through the bond, sharp and trembling. He realized then that it wasn't just her life on the line, it was his too. Before he could speak, the bunker lights flickered red. The AI voice echoed from the walls. Warning. Multiple hostiles detected. Perimeter breached. Ethan looked at Lyra. How many? She closed her eyes, focusing. 3 drones. And something else, something bigger. Her voice shook. They sent a hunter. Ethan grabbed his plasma rifle and took a step toward the door. Then we fight. Lyra rose beside him, her wounds glowing brighter, her eyes burning like twin stars. No, Ethan, we merge. He stared at her. What? She held out her hand. If we combine our strength through the link, we might survive. But if we fail, we both die. Ethan took a breath, his pulse pounding. Guess it's time to see what this bond can really do. Their hands met, human skin against alien light, and the world around them exploded into blue fire. The bunker shook as dust fell from the ceiling. Red lights blinked across cracked walls, and the air filled with the deep hum of engines above ground. Something massive had landed outside. Ethan and Lyra stood side by side in the control room, surrounded by dead monitors and broken metal. The glow from their link shimmered faintly between them, thin electric threads of blue light that connected their hands. Ethan's heart pounded. They found us. Lyra nodded slowly. The hunter has arrived. Her tone was calm, but her eyes trembled with fear. Ethan could feel it through the bond, a cold wave that chilled his bones. He checked his plasma rifle and tightened the straps on his armor. Then we finish this. Lyra stepped closer. No, you don't understand what a hunter is. It's not just a machine, it's one of my kind. A soldier like me, but fully activated. Pure war, Ethan frowned. And how do we fight something built to kill both of us? Lyra hesitated. We merge again. Like before, but deeper this time. He stared at her. Last time nearly burned my mind out. She nodded. This time will be worse. Ethan laughed quietly, shaking his head. You really know how to make a guy feel lucky. Her lips twitched, almost a smile, but her voice stayed heavy. Ethan, you don't have to stay. If you go now, maybe you can survive. He looked at her, eyes hard. You linked with me. I'm part of this now. If you die, I die. So stop pretending I have a choice. Lyra turned away, her shoulders trembling. You shouldn't care this much. You barely know me. Doesn't matter, he said softly. I know enough. She looked back at him. For a moment, they just stared. 2 enemies turned allies, connected by accident, bound by something neither fully understood. A deep metallic roar echoed outside, shaking the floor. The bunker doors glowed red as molten metal dripped from their surface. The hunter was burning through. Ethan raised his weapon. Tell me what to do. Lyra stepped beside him. Her body shimmered with light as the link between them flared to life. The blue glow spread from her hands into his arms, tracing his veins. Focus on me, she whispered. Let me in. He closed his eyes and the world vanished. Suddenly, he wasn't in the bunker. He was standing inside a vast ocean of light, surrounded by stars and voices. He saw flashes of her memories, her home planet, the training, the cold machines that made her what she was. He felt her loneliness, her guilt, her pain, and then he felt something else, trust. Her voice echoed in his head. Together, Ethan, he opened his eyes. The link was complete. His hands glowed with alien energy. His rifle hummed like it was alive. The bunker door exploded inward, spraying molten shards across the room. The hunter stepped through. It was massive, 8 feet tall, armored in black crystal, eyes burning red. Its voice rumbled through the air like thunder. Subject Lyra detected. Terminate the defective. Eliminate human contamination. Ethan felt a surge of anger. Not his own, but Lyra's. Her fury burned through the bond. "Come on," he shouted, aiming his weapon. The hunter moved with impossible speed. It fired a plasma bolt that ripped through the wall. Ethan dodged, but the shockwave threw him across the room. Lyra caught him midair with a burst of blue light, slamming her hand against the ground to steady them both. Their power pulsed together, lighting up the bunker like a miniature sun. Ethan aimed again, but this time his shot wasn't just plasma, it was pure energy from both of them. The beam tore through the hunter's armor, burning a hole in its chest. The creature roared and charged forward, its arm transforming into a blade. Ethan tried to move, but the hunter was too fast. Lyra stepped in front of him. The blade struck her shoulder, cutting deep. She screamed, not just out loud, but inside his mind. The pain hit him too, like fire spreading through his nerves. He grabbed her before she fell. "Lyra, stay with me," she gasped, her voice fading. "Ethan, the core, under my ribs, you can use it. But if you do," he shook his head. "No, I'm not killing you," she smiled weakly, tears shining in her alien eyes. "It's the only way. The core will destroy the hunter, but it will destroy me too." Ethan's mind raced. The hunter was already recovering, rising to strike again. The link burned inside him, screaming for release. Lyra placed her hand on his chest. "It's okay," she whispered. "You were the first human who didn't see me as a monster." Ethan grabbed her hand, trembling. "You're not a monster. You're alive. That's enough for me." For a moment, their minds blended into one heartbeat, one thought. Then Ethan made his choice. He turned, aimed at the hunter, and unleashed the full power of the link. Blue light exploded, shaking the ground. The hunter screamed as its armor shattered. Energy waves tore through the bunker, turning metal into ash. When the light faded, the hunter was gone. Silence filled the air. Ethan looked down at Lyra. She lay limp in his arms, her glow fading fast. "Lyra," he whispered. Her voice was faint, but he heard it in his mind. "You chose mercy, even when it hurt. That's why your kind still has hope." Then she went still. The bunker lights flickered once and went dark. Ethan sat there in the silence, holding her, the blue glow on his skin slowly dying. But somewhere deep in his mind he felt her heartbeat still echoing, faint, distant, but alive. The silence after the battle was heavy. Ethan sat on the cold floor of the ruined bunker, his arms still wrapped around Lyra's body. Smoke drifted through the cracks in the walls, glowing blue in the fading light. The air smelled of ozone and burnt metal. Lyra's skin had gone dim. The faint silver glow that once shimmered under her flesh now flickered like a dying candle. She looked asleep, peaceful, but the link between them felt weak, barely there. Ethan could sense her heartbeat slowing inside his mind, like footsteps fading down a long hallway. He pressed a hand against her chest, his voice rough. "Come on, Lyra. You don't get to die now. We're not done." No answer. He could feel the emptiness where her presence had been, like a piece of him had been torn away. For the first time since the crash, Ethan felt truly alone. Then the ship's AI broke the silence. "Captain Cole." External energy readings detected. Massive core signature approaching from the east. Ethan turned his head sharply. How massive? Equivalent to planetary weapon class. He looked down at Lyra, realization hitting him. They're not just after her. They're after the weapon inside her. A faint pulse of light shimmered under her ribs as if responding to his words. He placed his hand over it, and the world around him vanished in a flash of blue. He stood in a vision. A vast alien city stretched before him, glowing towers reaching into the clouds. Hundreds of silver-skinned soldiers knelt in silence around a massive sphere floating in the air, a sphere of pure energy. Lyra's voice echoed through his mind, soft and distant. "This is the war pulse." He turned to see her standing beside him, alive in this vision, her eyes glowing brighter than ever. "It was built by my people to erase entire worlds. One command and it burns everything alive." Ethan looked at the glowing sphere. "You mean Earth?" Lyra nodded slowly. Yes, Earth is the final target. He clenched his fists. Then we destroy it. You can't, she said. It's tied to my core. If the war pulse dies, so do I. Ethan stared at her. There has to be another way. Lyra stepped closer, her hand brushing his cheek. He could feel warmth again, soft and human. There isn't. My creators built me as the key. If I live, the weapon can be used again. If I die, the chain ends with me. Her voice trembled. That's why I begged you not to lift my shield that night. I didn't want you to see what I truly am, a weapon pretending to be a girl. Ethan shook his head. You're more than that. You fought them. You saved me. Lyra smiled faintly. And now you must save everyone else. The vision shattered. Ethan gasped and opened his eyes. He was back in the bunker, Lyra still lying in his arms. The pulse beneath her ribs was glowing brighter now. Steady, powerful, dangerous. Outside, the ground trembled. Through the cracked window, he saw the horizon turn red. Alien warships were descending through the atmosphere, their black hulls glowing like fire. He whispered to himself, "They're here." He laid Lyra down gently and staggered to his feet. AI, what's left of the reactor? Power levels at 32%, the AI replied. Enough to trigger an overload? Affirmative. But doing so would vaporize this entire region. Ethan smirked bitterly. Then let's make it count. He moved to the control console and began rewiring the old systems. Blue sparks danced across the panels. The war pulse energy inside Lyra hummed louder with every passing second, shaking the floor. Suddenly her voice whispered inside his head again, weak but clear. Ethan, what are you doing? He closed his eyes. Finishing what you started, you'll die. Yeah, he said softly. But so will they. No, she said firmly, her tone changing. There's another way. Use the link, he hesitated. The link? Yes, channel the energy through me, not the reactor. I can control it, just long enough to aim it at them. He turned toward her, his heart aching. If you do that, it'll kill you, she smiled faintly. It will kill me either way. But this way, you live. He shook his head, tears stinging his eyes. Lyra, don't, Ethan. Her voice in his mind was gentle now. You showed me mercy. Let me return it. He knelt beside her, their fingers touching. The link flared to life one last time, brighter than ever before. Blue light filled the bunker, spreading across the walls and ceiling like veins of lightning. Outside, the alien fleet prepared to fire. The sky turned red, the earth trembling. Ethan whispered, I'll miss you, Lyra. Her reply came like a soft breeze in his mind. You'll find me in the stars. Then she screamed, not in pain, but in power. Her body erupted with light brighter than the sun. The energy tore through the clouds, slamming into the alien fleet with blinding force. One by one, the ships exploded, breaking apart into ash and light. The war pulse was unleashed, but this time, it burned only the invaders. When the light faded, the sky was clear again. Ethan lay on the floor, surrounded by silence. Lyra's body was gone. Only a faint shimmer of blue dust lingered in the air, floating gently like snow. He touched his chest. The glow under his skin was gone too, but in the quiet of his mind he could still hear her, faint, like an echo. It's over, Ethan. Thank you. He smiled weakly, whispering, No, it's just beginning. Outside, the wind blew softly over the ruins of Titan 9. The war was over. But somewhere beyond the stars, a new light had awakened. And deep within Ethan's heart, the link still pulsed, quiet, alive, waiting. Silence. Real silence, no alarms. No screaming engines, no enemy ships tearing through the sky, just wind. Soft, lonely wind that carried dust across the wrecked plains of Titan 9. Ethan opened his eyes slowly. The world was blurry, painted in gray and gold. His ears rang with a faint hum like a fading heartbeat. The bunker was gone, reduced to black glass and scattered metal. He was lying on his back, half buried in ash, his body aching from the blast. He tried to sit up. Every muscle screamed. But somehow he was alive. The air around him shimmered faintly blue like the ghost of a storm. For a moment he thought he saw her, Lyra, standing in the light, hair glowing silver, eyes bright as the twin suns. But when he blinked, the image faded. Only the wind remained. He touched his chest. The faint mark of their link, the blue veins that once glowed under his skin, were gone. He felt empty, Lyra. He whispered into the wind. Are you there? No answer. Only silence. He looked toward the horizon. The sky was clear now, the alien fleet gone. The stars above seemed softer, cleaner. Maybe she had done it. Maybe she had saved not just him, but Earth itself. He smiled weakly, but it didn't last. The victory felt hollow. What good was saving the world if the one who saved it was gone? He stood up slowly, using a broken pipe as a cane. The land around him was nothing but ruin, yet there was strange peace in it, like the world was finally free of pain. The ship's AI crackled weakly from a damaged transmitter near his feet. Captain. Cole. System reboot. Power critical. He crouched down, brushing away the dust. Still with me, girl? Always, the AI replied faintly. But signal interference detected. Unknown energy field approaching. Ethan froze. From where? Above you. He looked up. Through the thin clouds, a shadow descended, smooth, silver, and silent. A small ship, unlike any human craft, hovered over the crater. Its surface shimmered like water under light. Ethan's heart began to race. No way. The ship landed softly, stirring the dust around him. A ramp unfolded and a figure stepped out. At first, he thought it was a dream. The figure was tall and graceful, wearing a dark suit of woven metal and light. Her hair shone white, her eyes glowing violet. But this wasn't the Lyra he remembered. This was something new. Ethan took a cautious step forward. Lyra, the woman looked at him with a gentle smile, the same one he saw before the explosion. Not exactly, she said softly. But I remember her. I remember you, his chest tightened. What does that mean? When the war pulse activated, she explained, her voice calm like distant thunder. Lyra's consciousness fragmented. The energy she became needed somewhere to go. It found the human signal, the one she trusted most. Ethan's breath caught. Me? She nodded. Part of her stayed with you. Part of her rebuilt itself through the ship's remains. And through me. He took another step, his voice trembling. So, you're her? In a way, she said. I carry her memories. Her heart. Her last command was to protect you. He didn't realize tears were falling until he felt them freeze on his cheeks. She kept her promise, the woman smiled faintly. And so did you. They stood in silence, two survivors on a dead world. The wind howled softly around them, whispering through the ruins. Finally, Ethan spoke. What happens now? She looked toward the distant horizon, where the twin suns were rising. Your people will come. They'll see what happened here and try to understand. But the truth, the war pulse, the invasion, the link, they'll never believe it. He gave a tired laugh. Then maybe that's for the best. She turned back to him, her violet eyes shining with something human, something warm. Ethan. The link still exists. Inside you, inside me. It's dormant but alive. We are still connected. He stared at her, unable to speak. Then he stepped closer, close enough to feel the faint warmth radiating from her skin. Does that mean she's still in there? Somewhere? He asked quietly. She smiled softly. Close your eyes. He did. And in the silence of his mind, he heard it. Faint, but unmistakable. Ethan. You kept your promise, his breath caught. Lyra, I told you, her voice whispered. You'd find me in the stars. When he opened his eyes, the woman was standing inches away looking up at him. She's waiting for you, she said gently. Maybe we both are. Ethan took her hand. For a moment he felt the warmth of life again, the spark of something new being born from everything they had lost. He looked toward the horizon, where dawn broke over the wasteland. Then let's finish what we started, he said softly. The woman nodded. Together. They walked toward the light as the twin suns rose higher, painting the world gold. The war pulse was gone. The war was over. But somewhere far beyond Titan 9 among the stars, a faint blue light flickered, like a heartbeat that refused to die. It was her, Lyra, still watching, still waiting. And in that quiet moment, Ethan knew one truth that would never fade. Sometimes humanity's greatest strength isn't in its weapons, but in its mercy.